adventures of comedy cooking in Larissa's kitchen. Tonight I'm tackling a hamburger cheese bake, which has the dubious distinction of having near criminally negligent baking instructions. From ingredients listed above that aren't mentioned below, and a stupefyingly baffling assembly instruction, this near lasagna casserole is getting its 15 minutes of fame. Let's get started on the ingredients, shall we? We're going to need 8 ounces of medium noodles. Now, these are routine because I think they're going to hold the sauce the best. We're also going to need a pound of ground beef and 15 ounces of tomato sauce. We'll need half of a green bell pepper that's been diced, along with half of a cup of diced onion. We're going to need 1 tablespoon of sugar, 1 teaspoon of kosher salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of pepper, and a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic salt. Now, this is actually just garlic powder because I don't keep garlic salt, but you can use whichever you have on hand. We're going to need half of a cup of sour cream, a cup of cottage cheese, and 8 ounces of cream cheese, along with 1/2 cup of Parmesan cheese. Now, this is coming from the canister because I know that when this was written, that's all that people used. We're also going to be baking this in a 9 by 13 inch cake pan because that apparently is the only size cake pan that was available during this time. Okay, as you can see, I've got a pan of water going for these noodles. Now we're going to boil these noodles while we put the rest of this sauce together. I do have my oven preheated to 375 degrees, and I do have the convection oven on. Okay, we're just going to throw in a couple of noodles. We'll let them boil up. Okay, and then we can pour in the rest. Alright, we're going to give this a stir. Once it comes back to boiling, we don't have to stir it anymore because the boiling action will stir it for us. Okay, I've got my large nonstick sauteuse on over medium-high heat. We're going to start by browning this ground beef. Okay, once we've let this beef brown and the fat's rendered out, we're going to go ahead and saute our vegetables in it. Then we're going to go ahead and add the seasoning, and then we're going to get to the confusing part. Okay, this looks ready. Let's go ahead and add our vegetables in, the bell pepper and the onions. Okay, we're going to go ahead and drain these noodles. We don't want them to be overly soft because they're going to continue to soften when we put them in the oven. Okay, we're going to go ahead and add all of the spices, even though none of this is mentioned in the instructions. Okay, here's where we get to the confusing part. Now, I have read these instructions many times and I still can't figure out exactly what I'm supposed to do. So I'm going to be adding the tomato sauce and all the cheese minus the Parmesan cheese into this pan and mixing it together. I am, however, going to save the cottage cheese to the end and add it off heat because that would be vile if I put it in here and melted it with everything else. Okay, I'm going to put in the cream cheese first because this is going to have to melt. Now, I've made a little well here so that this is directly on the heat. Okay, we'll let that sit for just a few minutes. Okay, this is pretty much melted, so now we're going to add in the sour cream and the tomato sauce. Well, this is an interesting development. Okay, I'm going to turn off the heat and add the cottage cheese to this. Alright, we're supposed to use half the noodles in the bottom and then hilariously just moisten them. And then we add the cheese on top of that. Now, I have the strangest feeling I am missing some ingredient here, like mozzarella cheese, but we're going to go with it like it is. All right, now we're going to moisten these. I should probably point out this does not smell good. Okay, we'll go with that, and then about half this cheese. Oh, that doesn't smell good either. Okay, the rest of these noodles. Even though it doesn't say to use the rest of the noodles, and the rest of this sauce. I apologize in advance for this noise. Okay, we're gonna even this out a little here. I know what it looks like, that's also what it smells like. Oh my God. All right, and the rest of this cheese. Okay, now that we've got this covered, it goes in that 375-degree oven for 45 minutes. Okay, let's carefully get this undone. Beware of steam burns. Okay, let's get this dished up. This smells horrible. I'm just going to put it out there. Let's top it with a little more Parmesan. I am really not looking forward to trying this. It smells horrendous. Probably gonna burn my mouth too. Okay, strangely enough, it tastes okay. But I wouldn't serve it to anybody. It just smells bad. I apologize in advance for this noise.